You're listening to Lore Friendly, Kris Takahashi. And again, for the second week in a row, special guest, Jennifer Hedwig. How are you doing, Jennifer?
I'm doing just fine. I have no idea why you keep inviting me back.
You know, last week we got called out in the comments. Like, somebody mentioned that we were plebs.
Yes, because I read the comments of everything that I'm in because I'm completely self-obsessed and any attention is good attention. But continue.
Yeah, so they mentioned that you, because you didn't watch the documentary, you're a pleb, which is somewhat understandable.
Oh, yeah, and you, because you didn't know what some...
The forest?
The forest was, yes, there we go. See, I told you I read it.
See, what the what the fuck is the forest? Can you explain what the forest is to me? Do you know what that is?
So I explained it last time and you didn't even bother to listen. Okay, so it's this horror survival game. You crash land on an island in a forest, surprisingly. And there's a bunch of cannibal tribes on the island. And someone takes your son. So the whole game is like, find Timmy.
Oh, okay. See.
Ringing the bell?
I thought. Oh. No. It does not ring a bell. It will never ring a bell. But I thought this guy was talking about Fallout. Like there's a forest in Fallout. And if you Google Fallout the Forest.
Oh my god.
It says there is a forest in West Virginia. So I assume that's what they were talking about.
It's like you weren't even conscious for our whole last podcast.
The forest is a region of West Virginia characterized by lush forests, winding rivers, and diverse wildlife. The area is home to pre-war towns including Charleston and Point Pleasant, as well as landmarks such as Camden Park and the Nuka-Cola Quantum Plant. How did they even know all this? Was this in a documentary?
I don't know. I still haven't watched the documentary. But there's definitely a forest because when you at the E3 video, there was definitely like that landscape view and a whole bunch of trees. And you didn't have that for Fallout 4. It was just like highway.
Okay.
Am I wrong? I'll take your silence as a no.
Yeah, because Fallout 4 is a place that was bombed, though.
Well, Fallout 76 was bombed a little bit, probably.
No, it wasn't. You're the one who's gonna bomb it. You're responsible for putting the nukes into that place.
I'm gonna bomb the shit out of that place. It's gonna be great.
Speaking of which, there's actually a mod, right, that lets you simulate what Fallout 76 is gonna be like in Fallout 4. Oh. Like it's like a griefer mod. It spawns random griefers to shoot you.
What was the name of that mod author again?
I don't know. We should plug them, huh? We should give them some dap
I want to,
creating
but
this
he's
mod.
not gonna enjoy it.
But yeah, it also launches random nukes. Let's see. It's
he had some kind of like 5-letter username starting with an S, I think, maybe like a 3 where an E was supposed to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. SKK50.
SKK50, you said?
Go. Yeah.
Dear SKK50, if by some chance you're watching this, I hate you. You are the worst. Because now, that's all I'm expecting from Fallout 76. Because it was... God, he did such a mockingly good job, somehow. Because watching that, I'm like, yeah, honestly, if Bethesda puts as much effort into this game as they have to all their other ones, until they find a way to mod it, it's just gonna be this.
Yeah. But you gotta admit, this is just an exaggeration.
I mean, I hope.
Like taking...
But I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
There's gonna be a little more moderation in the actual game. Like they said, like in Fallout 76, that the nukes are like an end game thing. They're not something that people are just gonna spam and grief.
Well, yeah, of course not. But the whole...
It's like Civ. You played Civ, but you never get to nuke anybody because Gandhi keeps nuking
Civ.
you first.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. So what makes you think you're gonna nuke people in Fallout 76?
Because I'll play alone if I have to. I just want to nuke somebody. But that's the other thing.
Nuke yourself?
If I have to, if it comes down to it, just to see the mushroom cloud. But the thing that I'm really worried about is the NPC aspect of it, because in that mod, it took out all the settlers, everyone except for these random griefers. And I'm like, oh man, how are NPCs going to look in Fallout 76? Is it going to be like an MMO style, where everyone has to go and get a quest from this one NPC, and then it's totally immersion breaking? Or have they found a way to kind of make it all you know.
Who knows? I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, as long as you could have like a small private server, there's only going to be you and your 3 friends that you've paid to hang out with you. So,
damn it, Kris, that was a secret.
So you'll be good. You'll be fine. But yeah, you have like we were called out as plebs earlier, but you have actually been doing some lore study, haven't you, recently?
I have.
At least that's what you've been telling me on the Discord.
I have. Oh, that's what we were talking about. Oxhorn.
Oh, yeah. So you've been watching a lot of Oxhorn videos. Friend of the show, he was on Modcast an episode.
Really?
So.
Oh my God! Can you make him like? I wanna say hi to him. Can I do that? Can you hook me up? I wanna say hi. It's such a smooth, buttery voice.
He have a profile in the Discord, or maybe he left it already. Oh, he left it already, I think. Let me scroll down. Yeah, I think he's gone. He probably has his own Discord. How does Oxhorn? Yeah, you could go on there. You could PM him.
Wow, that sounds like so much effort that I'm not gonna put into this. But if I ever randomly happen to see him in a Discord, I'll be like, hi.
Plus it's not like you get to hear the buttery voice if you're chatting with him online. It's a completely different experience.
You're right. You're right. But
there's a reason that we have chats and restraining orders to keep people like you away.
I always love being filed into the category of chats and restraining orders only. But no, I love his lore videos because they're like 45 minutes long, and it just talks all about like the Robco building, like for example. It just talks about for 45 minutes of every skeleton he finds, how they could have possibly died, whether they were pre-war or earlier around the fallout. And when I'm at work, like my new job, I'm pretty much just sitting at a... I don't even know what it's called. It's like
a chair. Usually you sit on chairs, stools. Not on,
thank you.
Couch. Mattress.
It's like a microscope.
Beanbag. You're sitting on a microscope. That would be quite painful.
Kris, you
no wonder you hate your job.
To me.
God. Maybe you should try sitting on the chair and looking into the microscope. I think you'd be a lot happier.
Like I was saying, I sit at a microscope, but it's like projected onto a TV screen. It's kind of automated. It's like really automated. I control it with the computer. Did I say TV screen? Computer screen. A monitor. A monitor. There we go.
Sure.
And, I'm chipping, like, dicing lasers and stuff like that. And it's a lot.
You work at the institute, more or less, is what you're saying.
A very poor institute, yes.
Who's your Sean? Do you have a Sean?
Do I have a Sean?
A megalomaniac CEO.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you meant like in the way of my son or my synth son or yeah. I actually have not met the owner yet, but
okay.
She stops by every now and then. There's like 5 people in the company, so one day.
So explain this. How you said you're not sure if it's the owner or for the son or like how does that even work? I don't even know what you're talking about.
I wasn't sure what you meant by my Sean. I was like, what, like a child?
How could there be more than one Sean? There is only one Sean. He is old
but I
and he has a great beard.
didn't know if you meant it in the way of like, who's my son there? And I was like, I'm very confused.
Okay, that's true. That's true.
No, but I'm sitting at this
proceed.
microscope, right? And it's just repetitive action, and some of it's automated so I can do something else. But this part, I have to line it up, really make it all straight, and then get this diamond tip thing to go down and, just scribe and cleave it. So it's basically just hours of me sitting at this computer trying to not fall asleep or blow my brains out. So let me tell you, Oxhorn's videos, they come in handy because I just download like 4 of them and I'm good for half the day.
So have you learned anything interesting from watching these?
I learned that he's wrong about Hancock. Okay? He says that Hancock sees you as a friends with benefits type. He's not really too serious about you. But he's wrong. because he's
Yeah,
not
that
reading
sounds
into
like he's
Hancock's,
sounds like he's doing a little self-insert
maybe.
there. Yeah, maybe Hancock's not hitting on him, but he's certainly romantically involved with you.
Of course,
So.
because I mean, come on, that's my man. But no,
the restraining order he filed is meaningless.
meaningless.
Completely
Nothing
meaningless.
like that matters after the bombs drop.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
no, because Hancock's really sarcastic of a character, and he hides a lot of how he really feels behind jokes and stuff. And I can really relate to that. So I get it when he's like, I thought about the physical side of things. He totally means he's completely in love with me.
So did that inspire you to write an angry comment on Oxhorn's video
No,
page?
because I'm either at work or
Explaining why he
driving,
is
but
wrong.
I've considered it.
That's true.
You know what? Have I? I may have. It wasn't angry. Not at him. I don't think.
You also told me some interesting thing that I've heard before, but like just in passing, but never really like looked into it. It's that all synths are like clones of Sean or something.
Yes, another thing that is something I learned from Oxhorn, and let me tell you, it fucked me up, man. I did the diddly.
Explain how that works.
I did the diddly with Magnolia. And she's like my child, kind of, because all synths were made from Sean's DNA. Which means to some extent, they're related to me. They're like my child.
Wait, so why did they just use Sean's DNA?
Because
Was like nobody else's DNA good enough?
Because they needed... You're breaking my heart, Kris, with how much you just don't pay attention to Fallout lore. Because they needed uncorrupted DNA that wasn't irradiated or anything. But that always bothered me.
How does that even work? Like, because they're not making clones of Sean, they're making different people,
this could
right?
totally
So
never work. The only thing I can think of is kind of like the HeLa cells. Have you ever, do you know about the whole HeLa? God, what was her first name?
No.
Henrietta Lacks. Basically, there was this black woman who had a very unfortunate time living in a very bad time to be black in America. You know, like 1930s,
Right.
I think.
Like 2018.
Yeah. No, it was, she had a scare of cervical cancer or something. But she also had an STD, I think, and that's why she went to the doctor. Because her husband cheated on her, because, of course. And they scraped her cervix, and the cells that they recovered from that, they didn't ask for her permission to use them in research, but they did anyway. Because these are the only cells ever harvested from a human that kept, like, dividing and, like, I guess, reproducing.
Mm-hmm.
And they never died. Like, they're still used in vaccination research to this day.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's completely crazy. But that's, like, the only thing I could think of where, in comparison to the whole Sean DNA being used for the synths, because I don't understand why they couldn't use an institute scientist either. They synthesized gorillas. The fuck did they get DNA for that?
Exactly. It's just
Aw,
nothing
man, you're killing
makes
this
sense
game for
in
me.
So, yeah. No, I mean, it sounds like a really cool idea that has no, like, I don't know, practical use to it. It doesn't really make sense to me. But, like, I don't have a medical background, but just from, like, a logic standpoint, okay, if you're going to use the exact same DNA, like, if the DNA is, like, a blueprint for making a human, right? And then you sort of use that to make a new human, but then you change it so they have different features and different characteristics, then it's not the same person anymore, right?
He also covered our synths clones, because they're all made from Sean's DNA, but they're clearly not clones, because they don't look alike. And if they were clones, they would be identical in every way. And they made synth Sean, which is a little, like, custom child, which is the closest thing to a clone of Sean. Real Sean.
Right. It's like if you take a box of Legos, like, for a spaceship, and then you take the same Legos and then you make a castle out of it. Like, it's not the same thing. I mean, it uses the same fundamental building blocks. I mean, we all do. We all use the same fundamental, like, DNA, like, I don't know, sequences or whatever, right? But if you just rearrange it in a different way, it's a completely different person. And so it's like
I mean, it
that.
actually kind of made the synth Sean thing kind of make more sense when you said it like that. But it still doesn't answer the question of why couldn't it be just a person from the Institute that like, what did the radiation do? Because any
Right,
mutation that was bad enough that it would completely make the DNA unusable would either kill the person or mutate them in a way that they would be dead very soon.
Yeah, exactly. If it's broken, it's broken. If it works, it works.
Right.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, it's a cool mindfuck thing to think about. But like, even if they did use Sean's DNA as a basis, like at the end of the day, Magnolia is not Sean. Curie is not Sean. I mean, you're not fucking your son is basically what I'm saying.
I really hope not, but Oxhorn's pushed me down that rabbit hole, and now I'm like, what have I done?
See, that's twice where he's been wrong. You should just stop watching these videos.
I can't until I watch them all. And some of them I can't even watch because I'll look at the title and realize, oh my god, I've never gone to this place in Fallout before. I've had this game for so long, I feel like I've done everything, and there's so many places I've never even looked at. Next game I'm doing, I'm not fast traveling.
Oh,
but I always end
you
up
say
just
that
running
now,
into
but
super mutants in the
eventually,
city.
like when you need to get a quest done, you're gonna like not want to walk, and you're gonna fast travel.
Yeah, and the thing that always sucks is whenever I finish a quest, I always have 2 followers because mods. I have Dogme and Hancock usually. Sometimes I'll switch them out for Nick Valentine because I love Nick Valentine. I would have romanced him if he was romanceable, but he's not because he's the wrong kind of synth, I guess.
Well, they have mods for
They
that.
only want you to fuck your son's relatives, aka your relatives.
But they have mods where you can romance
Well,
Nick,
you know
right?
what? There should be mods in the game. Like, just put him on a workbench, attach the necessary parts, and, you know, romance. Where was I going with that? What was I?
I'm glad your idea of romance is just to attach a dick to Nick Valentine.
Hey, you know, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's thought that.
Some people want candlelight dinners,
And
but, you know.
I'm sure Nick would love that as well. He can even call me Jenny.
Nice.
But yeah, so I always have 2 followers, and by the end of every quest, I'm at the edge of being over encumbered. And my followers, they can't take any more, or they can't carry anymore. So I need to fast travel, just to dump all the junk into my settlements.
Yeah.
That's the worst
sure.
part about the settlement system, is that now all the junk I see everywhere is like important.
Yeah.
So I need it all. And
There should be a mod where you can just like have dog meat, like just take it to a settlement and then come back to you or something. Like deliver all your junk.
I mean, I'm sure there is, or some kind of thing like that, like probably no carrying capacity limit on your followers.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't have a solution because it's a fine system, and the fact that we're able to lift 340 units of weight is a little crazy as it is.
Yeah.
So it's fine. But I need to pick up every glass. And the worst part is the best components are in the heaviest items. Like hot plates. Love hot plates. Typewriters. Extinguishers.
All good things to take
But they
apart.
weigh like 3 units of weight. And I say units of weight because I refuse to believe that my character is lifting 340 pounds of bullshit on her no pockets.
Just need to put in more points into strength.
Yeah.
Be alright.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what it is?
What? You didn't know that?
No, there's just a pack mule perk, right?
No, like your carrying weight is affected by your stats. I don't know what stat it is. Do you have is there endurance a stat in
Yes.
Fallout games?
Special.
Okay, it might be endurance. It might be endurance. Then it could be strength. I'm not sure. It's one of those.
Yo. Huh.
How did you not know this?
Don't know.
Anyways, so that was like the Fallout lore stuff that you mentioned to me that kind of blew my mind. Other news. Game of Thrones has a prequel coming out for HBO. They announced it like 2 months ago. Who knows? We're late to every bit of news. But yeah, are you excited for a prequel
Nope.
set 1,000 years before what the events that are happening currently?
Nope.
No?
It's always a bad idea. Every time there's a very successful show and there's a spin-off, a prequel, a sequel, it's bad. It's not good. It's never going to live up to the original. None of your favorite characters are going to be there. It's just, let it
But
die.
you have new characters.
Let it die.
There's new characters to become your favorite.
It was a good run. It was a great show. I'm excited to see how they choose to end it. But I don't need to see Brandon the Builder put up the wall. It's not something... it's not, you know? It's like The Walking Dead and then Fear the Walking Dead. First of all, I stopped watching The Walking Dead like 2 seasons ago, and I don't want to run into any spoilers because I do want to finish it. But Fear the Walking Dead, I'm not gonna do it. I watched the season. It was okay. I like Rick. I miss Rick.
Isn't there like a bit of... I mean, I'm sure there's going to be a bit of fan service to all that, and like, you know, like, oh, they're going to show how the wall was built and show how White Walkers are made, even though we've already seen that. Mm-hmm. But I still think it's pretty cool because the world is going to be a lot different. It's just going to be cool, like, visually.
How
just
is it going to be different? They've been a medieval society for 1,000 years. Literally nothing's going to be... What, are we going to see the wheel be invented?
Possibly. It's going to be different in that it's more of a magical society, isn't it? It's going to be more high fantasy. Because, like, Game of Thrones is, like... I don't know what the term is. It's, like, low fantasy. There's no magic. There's no... Like, there's dragons, but the dragons only come later on. I'm assuming, like, 1,000 years before, it's more just, like, people, like, fucking shooting fire out their hands and shit like that.
Yes, and there are more dragons around, but... CGI is expensive, and we're still only going to see all the cool stuff for 5 seconds an episode. I'm not excited. And I know...
Isn't CGI cheaper than, like, real life shit?
I mean, yeah, way cheaper than resurrecting a real life dragon that never existed.
Yeah.
So
that's super expensive.
It is,
you gotta have, like, all of Sean's DNA
like,
to make that thing.
level shit, yeah. That's... But no, I'm not excited. Another show they did this with was The Golden Girls. Golden Girls had a great run. It was like 7 seasons. I mean, it broke a bunch of guidelines, I guess, like the quote-unquote rules of TV that, you know, there can't be an all-female cast. God, I forgot what it was, but that was one of the biggest rules that it, like, broke of the industry. It's just a fantastic show, and after it ended, they did 1 season, I believe, 1 season of The Golden Palace, because it just wasn't as good. Because it never is. And you know what? I am going to watch this Game of Thrones prequel thing, and you better invite me back again when it starts, because I'm going to bitch about it. I'm going to bitch about it every time.
See, how could you have your mind made up when you haven't even seen it?
Well, you know, I had my mind made up before E3, so, you know, there's always a chance I could be wrong, but it's slim, because I'm always right.
Those 2 sentences do not make any sense.
Don't think about it too hard.
Okay. It's like the whole Sean thing.
Yeah.
Just accept it as true.
Just get with Curie and don't think about it.
Yeah. Just don't think about, like, the scruffy beard that's growing out of her chin. You know? Don't question it. It's just French, you know. It's just how they roll.
The moment. She's a pre-war robot synth thing, so, you know, things were different back then. Just live in the moment. That's what I'm gonna do. And I'm going to hate every moment up until I actually see something I like in this prequel, which I don't think I will.
Yeah. We'll see. The good thing is I think George R. R. Martin is, like, fucking doing some of the story, right? He's, like, guiding it, so it's not going to be, like, totally just made up shit. So, I mean, it'll be made up, but it'll be canon made up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know George R. R. Martin has a lot of material to work from, just a lot of, like, background lore, which I guess is what a lot of that show's gonna be. Which I do like things like that, but I just don't think it belongs on HBO. Like, I want to see some fantastic...
Where does it belong? Showtime? Amazon Prime?
Amazon Prime, yeah. I'd put it on Amazon Prime, you know, like a little side. It's for real fans, you know what I mean?
Speaking of Showtime is actually... producing a Halo show, which they announced, which obviously you have never played because you don't do space.
Correct.
As you mentioned last week. See, I was listening. What about space do you not like? Why do you not like space?
It's boring.
How is it boring?
It's the same thing every time. I guess you could say the same thing about medieval fantasy. Same shit every time.
You could say that about any genre.
With space, it's bland color schemes. And either there's weird aliens or there's sexy aliens, or it's just planets and just space.
That is true. That for some reason, a lot of space shows, they depict the future as very boring and just lacking in artistry.
Yeah.
Like, like everybody just wants fucking chrome shit.
Yes.
It's just, yeah.
I remember when I was in 4th grade, we were talking about what we think the future will look like, and I was so upset because I imagined the future just completely paved in chrome, like Jetson style, but just sidewalks were chrome and like the kind you have at the airport, you know, like the the escalator, but like flat, like the fast escalator. I don't know. And I was devastated. I was like, I don't want to grow up because that's what I thought it would look like. But now I realize if that actually happened in real life, people would change out real quick because it's, nobody wants to look at that.
Yeah,
but that's the way these games always look.
Yeah, I guess they gotta play to the stereotype of the future. You know, if it looks too much like regular life, if it looks too much like where we're living now, people are gonna say, "Oh, that's 2018. That's not 2218." You know, it's just.
And it's
just
when it comes to future, it's always spacey, like chrome futuristic or post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of boring.
Doesn't Total Recall? Doesn't that movie have like more color palettes? I'm not sure. Or is it more cyberpunk?
Never seen it.
Yeah.
But
cyberpunk, like we talked about, is more of it's more colorful, but it's like electric colorful. It's still not like grounded in reality.
Yeah, but also looks kind of dystopian.
Yeah, it's like neon and shit. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant. Not like what were the words I used before?
I don't know.
Not post-apocalyptic. There we go.
Okay.
It either looks dystopian or utopian, but too much, like too utopian. Like you said, with
too
chrome
bland,
and everything.
too sterile.
Yes, sterile.
Like the Institute.
Mm-hmm. But I did
it
like.
All comes back to Sean.
I did like Alien, you know, or Prometheus. I didn't like it, but it was a little bit better than what I think of when I think of your average space kind of fantasy. It was more dirty, you know.
So no to Halo. I think Halo's like that too. It's more like a sterile future, kind of sleek but sterile kind of future-looking thing. Is there a TV show that you would, or a video game that you'd like to see as a TV show?
I don't know, because these things never have a good track record. Anytime you turn a game into a movie or a TV show, like the Tomb Raider movies, one of the best parts of the game is being the character.
Right.
And when you see in a movie, you're watching as like a third person. Which I know, and it's different from a third person view because you're not controlling the person. And so Tomb Raider, it's great when you're young and you just want more of the content. But when you're like, you know, in your 20s, 30s and you're looking at it and you're like, games are better.
What about Elder Scrolls?
Completely not, because it's an RPG. If you're going to make that, you completely take the whole best element of the game away if you make it into a movie. Or TV show.
Yeah, I'm just not sure if gameplay, the thing that makes games fun, can be translated on screen. I mean, I don't know if it's just the storytelling. I mean, storytelling should be good enough. I mean, the stories are fun. It's just, I don't know. For some reason, it just doesn't translate well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, a game like Tomb Raider, you can make a movie out of it, and it's okay, you know? It's a Tomb Raider movie. But you absolutely can't make an RPG into a TV show or a movie because you take away the whole role-playing element from it, and then it's just another TV show or movie.
Do you think the makeup or the CGI would look good? Like Khajiit and
No, they would butcher it. They would absolutely. You'd have fucking Dr. Seuss Cat in the Hat looking Khajiits.
What's the other race? There's orcs. Orcs would be okay. Orcs would look okay, I think. Argonians?
I think Argonians would look okay. I think when you incorporate fur, things get tricky.
Aren't there like Khajiit or cat-like fucking CGI people, or is it just Uncanny Valley shit? like in other movies.
What do you mean?
There has to be a cat, like Beauty and the Beast or something. Aren't there like fucking furry, like cat-like creatures in other movies?
Yeah, Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat. No, I don't know. I guess Beauty and the Beast, but I didn't watch that. I just know every time you have a lot of fur that needs to be animated, the physics are never quite right. It always looks a little too fake or a little too shiny.
Yeah, although the same could be said about the next generation of video games.
That's true, but it's different because when it's in a video game, everything kind of looks like that.
Yeah, that's
like your
true.
character's hair. But when you're watching a show with real people and then this CGI cat thing, it's gonna stick out. It's gonna be wrong.
So note that as well.
Man, I'm just all nose today. What are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
If you were in charge of the studios, there would just be no content.
Nothing.
You'd
You're
be like,
all
no,
terrible.
reject. There'd be like one TV show that passed approval every like 5 or 6 years, and it'd be a huge event because it's somehow
And you know what?
passed.
And
the
people
gate.
would appreciate it, and it would be amazing every time. No failures, at risk of execution. Yes.
Yeah, but I think people would find a way. Like they'd
I'd make
make
an
like
underground
bootleg,
market.
yeah, underground space shows that because you fucking barred those from appearing on the network, so they're gonna pop those out on the underground.
How about you, Kris? Are you working on anything at the moment?
No, I am not.
Nothing.
We just had a creation released, I think.
What was it? Which one? Because I might buy it. I have a couple dollars. Little dollars.
Well, the two ones that I made quests for were the anti-material rifle and the solar cannon, I think it's called. Is it called the solar cannon?
Other weapons.
Shoe Burglar made the solar cannon, and then Axis asks us made the anti-material rifle, and then I just made quests for those.
How long are the quests?
But yeah, it's on the store now. They're pretty short, just small little things.
Okay. I bought a black lab from the Creation Club, and I sent it to Spectacle Island, never to be seen again. I have no idea where this dog went. And it's not on Spectacle Island.
Sounds like maybe it has part cat. Maybe it's part cat.
I have plenty of cats on that island, and I can find them all.
It wants no part of you and your terrible.
Yeah, but I spent money on it.
Hammer.
What a bitch.
No comment. I don't think I'm allowed to comment on creations. Anyways, yeah, so that's it, I think, for this episode, Lord Friend. Unless you want to share any other news, people.
I don't know. I mean, I got nothing yet. I might have something in a couple weeks, But for now,
you got something big planned.
no, not something big, but I'm gonna throw myself back into the whole voicing mods thing.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
Skyrim probably mods.
All right.
Because we're not gonna have another Elder Scrolls game for another 5 years because I hate Todd Howard. I hate him, majestic man. I hate him.
You love.
It's a love-hate thing.
Or hate to love.
It's yeah. It's unfortunate,
One
but
of those things.
life is how life is.
All right, so that's it. Tune in maybe next week, maybe 2 weeks from now. Who knows?
You do
We don't
such
have
a great
schedule.
intro. Your voice is just buttery and welcome to another podcast. Or what do you say?
Yeah. I should do lore videos.
Lore friendly. There you go. You do lore videos. But yeah, and then
How
outro
Sean
just-
is not your child.
You know what? I bet there's a conspiracy theory out there. But yeah, your outro is just yeah, no, that's it. All right, goodbye.
I meant to say how Magnolia and Curie are not your child. Anyways, I fucked that up. So, yeah, tune in then. Goodbye.
Bye.
I got that stupid song stuck in my head.
I ended up not listening to that song. Okay.
It's one of those songs that you've probably heard because they play it fucking everywhere. It's one of those cheesy 80s songs. But then you wouldn't know the name unless you looked
Wake
it
me
up.
up before you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Something so low. Going solo? Stupid.
I don't know.
That's stupid. Wake me up before you go because I'm not planning on going solo. That's stupid.
Because if you don't wake him up, he's gonna be like he's gonna go alone, right? He's gonna like wake up an hour later and he's gonna end up going
poetically, it's lazy. And of course, there's something just going beep beep down the block.
I don't think that they were trying to like fucking make like high art with the lyrics to wake me up before you go. Just taking a guess.
How dare you?
Are we good?
Can you wait like another minute because there's a truck backing up and I'm pretty sure that Audacity is picking it up.
Okay.
Okay, it stopped.
Beep, beep.
Somehow you didn't convince me.